Hi everyone, this is Angie Wong and I'm president of Legacy PAC. I just want to thank all of our followers. We're close to 100,000 followers on Facebook and we've only been around for a few short months. So thank you again. I'm going to ask you for your continued support leading up to 2024. Please donate to legacy-pac.org. That's legacy-pac.org. Thank you and we'll see you on the campaign trail.
And Stan, where's Stan? Stan is with Veterans for Trump.
Thank you, Martha.
Thank you all. We're honored. I know there are so many organizations represented here today.
Hi, this is Stan Fitzgerald, Veterans for Trump and Legacy PAC. I'm here with KELLYANNA Brooking. How are you today, Kelly?
I'm good. How are you doing?
I knew I'd screw up, so I'm going to leave it on there because this is real.
Totally good.
KELLYANNA is from Washington State, and she's a media pundit and a Republican pundit. And can you tell our viewers a little bit about your background and what you've been doing?
Yeah, of course. So I'm a youth campaign advisor for the future governor of Washington State, Semi Bird. I also am host of my own show, A Few Words. I am on national news often. I do multiple interviews. I'm always at events, and I'm really passionate about politics here in Washington State.
And you've been doing a lot of work to recruit voters and get the youth more involved, and you have some ideas. Can you explain to us some of the procedures you're taking to bring in more youth?
Yeah, so it's obviously no surprise that Republicans are not very great at having youth engagement. The left is better at us with that department, and I think that a big talking point is getting the youth involved and getting Gen Z involved. But how do we actually do that? I think social media events, speaking events, and events that actually apply to the youth that they want to do. And another thing that I'm trying to experience with my youth campaign advisor role is when I went to the Leadership Institute over last summer in DC, I learned that a great campaigning strategy and a great way to get the youth involved is to give everybody a title, because everybody likes to have a title. Everybody likes to be something. That can be either a content creator, an ambassador, secretary, whatever works, because everybody likes to feel important. So I think that's a really great way to get the youth involved. And then social media can be very cringy sometimes. There's certain things that are absolute. I won't even join TikTok. There's certain things, but there are certain ways like Instagram Reels, certain graphics that can really get the youth more involved and really want to care about something.
And you also had some ideas, and those are all very strong points. You also had some ideas about recruiting more military engagement in the Republican Party and voting. And can you explain a little bit about that?
Yeah, so I think that's very important, especially here in Washington, because that aspect gets overlooked a lot, because obviously Washington State is super blue, super left-wing, but there are a lot of blue-collar workers, a lot of military people, a lot of veterans, a lot of old-school Republicans, and I think that we really need to get them more involved. There's certain events that I've gone to. I went to a Tiffany Smiley event, and most of the people that were at that event were veterans, and I think veterans voting is very important because that is what America is built on: traditional family values, traditional voting, just very important things that can really make the American dream come true.
And that's very true. Yeah, we estimate there's about 9 million to 10 million veterans that are conservative voters. So
yeah,
it could literally sway elections.
Exactly.
KELLYANNA, you were talking to me off camera about Trump losing ground, and you don't think that's necessarily true. Can you explain to us a little bit about President Trump's appeal or lack of appeal to the voters in Washington?
Yeah, of course. So I think that especially the youth here, when young voters in Seattle vote, and I speak of Seattle as most of Washington State, because the fact of the matter is that whatever's happening in Seattle socially, politically, voting-wise, leaders, that's going to affect our state as a whole, because Seattle is our largest city. And policies anywhere you live in Washington are going to affect because they trickle from Seattle. And really the things that young voters in Seattle and Washington voters are most passionate about are the most left-wing ideas ever: abortion, pronouns, transgender, feminism, all of those things. And Trump happens to not fit any of those categories. And I think a lot of people, a lot of young people in general, especially people in Washington, will take what they see on social media from a 3-second clip on TikTok, Trump hates women, and they'll automatically run with that instead of actually doing research. And that goes with so many things. I think social media is a great tool. I am very thankful for it because that's how my platform has grown so much. And I think there are a lot of great impacts from social media, but one of the downfalls is that it makes people not think. And I think Trump is one of the biggest victims of cancel culture because of that. People will see the quickest clip about him or something he said that was completely out of context from like 40 years ago, and people will just run with that completely. And it's very unfortunate that people care more about some stupid video they saw versus his actual policies that truly benefited America and our economy so much.
And that's so true. And often the media takes those video clips out of context.
Very much.
So before I let you go, you were talking about new voters and some ideas about getting new people involved. What are your thoughts on that, and what are your plans?
Yeah, so I think that a lot of people from the youth view policy as boring and deem politics as old white man's job, and nobody really cares about that. And I do understand that because policy can be very boring at sometimes. Reading bills, reading that stuff can be very boring and really just not something that's super engaging. But I think that young people really need to realize that policy affects our day-to-day lives and really affects us now. It's not just a future issue. And I think a great example of that would have to be the border, because a lot of people view the border as a future issue, or it's not even an issue anymore. I don't live in this state or this town, so it can't affect me. But really, it affects so many different things. And policy affects our day-to-day lives, as I said, like schools, curriculum, gas prices, shopping, really everything. And I really want the youth to genuinely realize that policy is a now issue and we can't just wait until the future and pass it on to our future selves. If we get involved now, we can truly shape a better lives for our future and our future children and so many things.
Well, KELLYANNA, I've discussed you with our board at Veterans for Trump and our national spokesman, and you mentioned ambassadors' roles getting involved. And I'm happy to announce here today that I've been pre-approved to invite you onto our team at Veterans for Trump as our youth outreach director. So I'm sure you're going to make us very proud, and you're going to do great work for the Republican Party.
Thank you.
And for the Trump Campaign Coalition, which we are part of. So thank you for taking the time to talk to us today. And we look forward to working with you and organizing Washington to help take back Washington.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
Okay, we'll talk to you soon. Thank you, KELLYANNA.
Thank you.
Bye-bye now.
Bye.
So we know the issues, we know about energy, we know about the border, we know Joe Biden doesn't know what he's doing. We know all that, we get all that. But why do this? Why do this here tonight with Legacy PAC? Because there's a whole lot of people who have the passion to save this country who need help getting off the ground.
The purpose of Legacy PAC is to save America. That's our mission. That's what we really want to do because America's worth saving.
We support the next generation of conservative leaders. We just want people, good, solid patriots. They're not embedded in like the establishment.
I am a political outsider. I am by trade, I'm a cybersecurity engineer. Okay, so this is my first run in politics. We need more conservative Republicans standing up and fighting for the Constitution.
We're an America First PAC, and we want to promote and help our up-and-coming candidates, and we're going to be holding the line for President Trump.
I joined the Army at 17 years old. My first day at my first unit, which was 25th Infantry, was September 10th, 2001. So the next day was 9/11. And I spent about a total of a decade between Iraq and Afghanistan in country. So my country means everything to me. When I realized that if people like myself who don't want to be politicians don't start stepping up and taking these seats, that nothing's going to change, then I said, okay, I'll do it.
Who deserves to lead the people of this country more than those who serve this country? So I'm behind every one of them. So let's make sure we get more veterans into power. I'm all for it.
Remember why you're involved. We have to make sure people remain humble and not engage in self-glorification. You are here for one reason, and that is to save the country. Period, end of story.
And for those candidates who are looking uphill and wondering how, keep your head down, focus on the target, and outwork everybody. And I promise you, you're not gonna lose. You're either gonna win on election night or you change the game on election night. So God bless you guys. Thank you so much, Legacy Pack.